Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. I'm Denise and I feel like showing you guys how to cook the right way. So I decided to take you guys along as I prepare meals for my family and friends. So come join me. So let's head to the fridge. So what we do with the fridge is put the meat out that we're going to be having for the day. It should be in the front. And then in the back, you sit out other things that you will be cooking for the week. Well, this is how I'm going to be doing it. So I have turkey wings at some point this week. And this is chicken for chicken tetrazzini. It's 2 packs in case I decide to double the recipe. But for now, we're going to grab these baby back ribs and get ready to season them up. So I'll lay them here and get my ingredients out. Stay tuned. So for our ribs, we'll need, of course, some rib rub. So I'll grab that. I already took out the salt. I'm going to just finish up this container because it's going out anyway. Let's get some garlic powder. I shop all kind of brands. It does not matter to me. Onion. Let's see. We know we're going to need some pepper. We may be able to use a little meat tenderizer even though we're going to slow cook these bad boys. And we also have some steakhouse seasoning, so I'll just grab just a little bit of that. So these are the ingredients that I'm going to use to start out with, and then we'll see if we add anything else. Usually what I do use on a lot of things is the Tony Sancherons or the Saison seasoning. But for now, we're going to go with these and see how we start our dry rub. So again, we're going to be using some rub, garlic powder, pepper, onion powder, meat tenderizer, some steakhouse seasoning, and salt. That's going to be the base of our dry rub. Let me grab this foil, heavy duty, and get ready to get going. So right here I have my slab of ribs. I've already washed them and I already started taking off some of the fat, but I'm going to go and show you guys what I do to get rid of some more. So you need to leave some on, but I just take some of the extra pieces off that's not going to ever get nothing but just the fat. So turn them over, you can see where I've already started to chop off quite a bit of the fat. I'm just going to keep going and then I'll show you guys what to do when I return. Alright, I'm ready to go ahead and start seasoning. So I'm going to start off by using my rub that I showed you, Grill Mates rub. Meat tenderizer. You can choose to omit this if you wish to do so. They are going to slow cook. I just like to add mine on. Onion powder. A good coating over the whole slab of rib. Garlic powder. The steakhouse seasoning is definitely optional. I just like the little bit of bite that it gives when you're actually eating on the rib. And just a little salt. Salt and pepper go on everything. So I have to grab some more pepper. Flip your rib over. And you're going to use the exact same ingredients on the back. One thing about me, I'll tell you guys, when I get done cooking, you may see that I'm just touching all over the containers, and I just rinse my hands off some with the napkin. At the end of my cooking, I always go and I wipe off my containers. So it's okay. There's no cross-contamination. We get everything done. So what I do is have a wet rag at that point when I'm over at the sink, and I'll take every bottle that I have and I'll wash it on off before I put it back up. So that's one thing to make sure you don't cross-contaminate. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to push the rib back over. I'm going to leave it just like it is and make a pocket. I'm going to leave these without anything that's on, just the dry rub. I'm going to sit these back in the fridge until we're ready to use them later on for dinner. I would say let it marinate for at least 2 hours if you're able to do so. Alright guys, so to go with my baby back ribs, I'm going to make some coleslaw for one of the sides. So let's get started with that. I just have the tricolor coleslaw package I got right out of Walmart. With that, of course, you're going to need some kind of dressings. I use Miracle Whip, salt, pepper, and sugar. Those are the key things we're going to use to make this just what it is needed. So let's go ahead and open up this slaw. And you don't have to get tricolor. I just got it because it can brighten up the plate a little bit. I'm put half of it in to start out with. When it comes to salt and pepper and things, I'll just tell you guys what to use. You can decide how much of it, but you're going to need a generous amount of pepper. So right there, we just did about a couple of splashes. Let's open up this Miracle Whip. Get it started. A lot of people like dudes or certain anything in particular. I don't even care if it's just a mayo from Walmart. I just get whatever I need to have. And then I just say, okay, well, that's what we're using for this. All right. And then get out my measuring cups for the sugar. I'm going to start off with a 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup sugar. I like my stuff sweet. That's what gets even the kids to even like it. And I actually do need vinegar. I forgot to take that down. We'll get that down in just one moment. So I'm just going to stir this up and I'll get right back to you guys. So what I did is I went ahead and added in the rest of the cabbage mix with a little bit more pepper. This is a 8-ounce jar. We're probably going to use the entire jar for what was a 16-ounce bag of coleslaw cabbage. Pre-shredded cabbage, I should say. So we're just going to get this mixed in good. I'm trying to decide what else we're going to have. Since it's the beginning of the year, I'm trying to just go ahead and clean out the deep freezer and the pantry with things that we already have. So we'll try to make meals based on those things. But sometimes I'm just not in the mood for anything I already have. So I'm sure you guys can understand that at some point. I can tell just based on there not being a lot of juice in the bottom right now that I need more sugar. The sugar is used to help activate the juices that are in the mayo. So the Miracle Whip. So I'm not going to. So I was saying I wasn't going to add another 1/4 cup of sugar. But what I did is I added in 1 tablespoon. So this is a 1/2 tablespoon. So I've got 2 scoops and added in 1 more tablespoon of sugar to my mix. And now you see it's already caramelizing. The activation has worked. We're going to put this in the fridge. And like I said, figure out what else we're going to have. So let's do a quick recap though. I used a 16-pack of shredded cabbage, tricolor. I used a full 8-ounce jar of Miracle Whip. You can use whatever brand, it does not matter. I used 1 capful of apple cider vinegar, randomly sprinkled in my salt and pepper just per my own taste. I added in 1/4 cup and then 1 tablespoon of sugar. That's our mixture together. We're going to put it in the fridge and let it get all good, and let's figure out what will happen next. Right here, I just have a pot of water. I'm going to go in and add some salt. I decided that my other sides are going to be macaroni and cheese, a simple way, which is going to be semi-homemade. So I'm going to turn that water on to get ready to get my noodles boiling. And then we'll be ready. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and start to prepare baked beans. So I decided to do the macaroni, baked beans, and then of course just a little bit served with the coleslaw. So here's a can of beans that I'm just going to use with the syrup. This has bacon and maple syrup in it. So this, like I said, is just going to be me and Jerome tonight. So it's just going to be small portions of everything, which is odd because I really don't know how to do small portions. So like I was saying, in here it already has maple syrup, brown sugar, bacon. So we're good as far as that, but we're still going to add more to that. So let's get our materials together. To our baked beans, we're going to be adding in onion, 1 of each, green pepper, a little barbecue sauce, and just a hint of salt. So you can also add in a little splash of mustard if you want to do so, more brown sugar and sugar. But since it's just a small batch, I'm not making it for anybody besides just my main household. We're just going to go with these main ingredients. I'm going to get them cut up and then we'll add them in. I went ahead and cut up some of the red onion. Okay, so of course I'm not going to use the whole thing because of the portion of beans that I'm using. But if I would have made the really big can of Bush's baked beans or any brand bean, doesn't matter, or 2 cans, then I would have went ahead and put the whole thing because I do like taste of onion. Let's go ahead and get this yellow onion sliced up. Just finished peeling the onions. I'm going to just quickly wash my hands. This is not anything that's a detailed cleaning, just going to just give it a little rinse just because. Grab myself a napkin. Let's get ready to do this onion. So I'm going to just cut the onion in half. To the side, I have a little bag. Let's actually use a smaller portion of the onion because we have a little bit. As you guys can see in my sink there, these are just the peelings of my onion, so it's nothing major. I'm just going to go in. Now, I don't cut stuff in any particular way. I'm not even going to use this whole end of this onion. Just went down into the edge, and then I'm just going to cut some. I just like the flavor the onion brings to meals. So, I think I'm going to call it quits on that. So that everything in there is what I consider my scraps. My scraps. So, let's bring the camera back over here. I've already put in the red onion. Let's add in the yellow onion and go in with our pepper. Generous amount of pepper all the time. You could measure this out if you wanted to. Let's just get it down and just say we're going to do, that was about 5 seconds real time. 5 seconds real time. Just a little salt. Now let's go ahead and get this green pepper diced up. All right, so I just divided the green pepper into 4 to a fourth, and that's what I cut up. So as you can see, this is what's left. So it's a big amount left. Put that over to the side. Now, like I said, you can add in more of the regular sugar or brown sugar. I usually would caramelize the top of mine with brown sugar, but it is a new year and I am also someone that has worked on a lifestyle change, so I'm trying to cut back on certain things. So since I put so much sugar in my cabbage for my coleslaw, then I'm just going to just leave this at this. These green peppers and onions are going to caramelize in there and give it its own taste. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do for that. Our water is starting to get a little bit of a bubble here, so we're going to wait for it to boil. Then we're going to add our noodles in, and we'll be right back. While we're waiting on our water to bubble a little bit more, I decided I'll take you guys with me. So just ignore some of the clutter you may see in my garage, but I need to grab a lid for my beans because I'm going to cook them covered. So let's grab me a lid first. I keep plenty of pots and pans and toiletries and all that. But while we're here, let's look in our deep freezer to see what we need to get rid of. Our deep freezer stays loaded to the top. So we have steaks in there, cube steak, ground beef, chicken, shrimp. I mean, who knows what's all in here. Pork chop, I see. More little steak. So our deep freezer is loaded to the top. We have to get rid of some of this food because I like to shop. So I'm ready to get new things in there and cut new deals. So these are things we're trying to get rid of out of our deep freezer. So we've been making meals with those items. But as I told you, we already have our deep freezer. We already have in our regular fridge. We'll do a quick back pan. Our ribs are here marinating. We have turkey wings in the back, and we have chicken cutlets in the back. So we're going to get ready to make some turkey wings this week and some chicken tetrazzini. Other than that, we just have drinks in our fridge. Jerome stays thirsty. Usually in the slide out part, I keep in there just different things that help flavor things. So these are items I use when I want to flavor like cabbages and greens and things like that, which is just like hog jaw, fat back, and then sausage. Here we have where we keep our green pepper, celery. This is zucchini and squash. Vegetables and fruit is in this area. Extra sour cream for when we run out of the one that's usually in this container. This is our coleslaw getting ready. Just some kid drinks. But these are, that's how we set up our fridge. And then for our pantry, usually what I'll do is see what I have in here. These just usually will keep the kids snacks and things. But like I have a thing of rolls over here that I grabbed from Walmart, so we definitely need to use those. I have where I keep extra dressings and things in here, so that way you know you're going to always have some kind of items if you're ever in need. I think that our water is boiling. I'll get ready to grab our pan to put on our beans, and I'll be right back at you. So of course we salted the water, and I'm just going to use this Kraft Deluxe macaroni. Grab myself a spatula and just mix that up. We're going to give this time to boil. The way that we're going to make this semi-homemade using the Deluxe, we're still going to use the packaged cheese. But to that, we're going to go into the fridge, and we keep all different types of cheese. We're going to use some, like, let's see what we have already open. Well, no Kobe Jacks open. Just we have mild cheddar open, so we're going to use some mild cheddar. And we're going to also use some Kobe Jack. We're going to mix that in along with grabbing ourselves some milk. We have to get some milk from the back. There's usually one up here, but Jerome ate cereal this morning. So just stay tuned and we'll see how we're going to make this a personalized macaroni and cheese. While we're waiting on our water to boil, I said I'll check back in with you guys just to do a recap. So we have our ribs now with the dry rub in the fridge. They're going to sit for a minimum of 2 hours. So we have some time down. So we're going to be getting them in the oven soon. We're going to put them in the oven on 400 degrees. And we're going to cook them for about an hour and a half. Then we'll check on them and see if they need more time. But we did use meat tenderizers, so they should be ready to go. As far as our baked beans, we used a 128-ounce can of beans that already had honey and bacon and different seasonings already in the mix, but we still took our own opportunities to make it custom because I'm always with this in my homemade. So we added in green pepper, red onion, and just regular yellow onion, some barbecue sauce, salt, and pepper. And remember, you can use sugar if you would like to too. Since this is the new year and I've already been working on a lifestyle change, I'm not going to add in any extra sugar because we already made that coleslaw and I added my sugar there. So what I've done is I've taken our ribs out of the fridge and I've set them here in a large steam pan, and I put in there just enough water to bring it closer to cover the bottom of the pan. I want this to help the ribs cook tender, so it's going to steam through. So we're going to put this in the oven now. The oven has preheated. You guys heard earlier where it made the noodles are done now, so I'm going to go ahead and strain them and then show you guys how to mix it up. A key to a good macaroni is not overcooking your noodles. You only need them to cook about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, put the macaroni noodles right back into my, good thing I wash everything off, right back into the pot because I need this cheese to melt. So this is the one packaged cheese that came with the noodles. Get that in and going. And you want to put this in before you put your milk, just so that it can help with the melting process. So I'll just let that sit in. For measurement purpose, I decided that I would get a half a cup of shredded Kobe Jack. That will go in the inside. That's not even full, so I'm going to go sprinkle just a little bit more in there. Like I said, for measurement purposes, I got 2 tablespoons. I have 2 tablespoons of margarine. Let's mix this in good. Remember to scrape the sides to get some of that cheese that's trying to stick around there. As we get that, I have 3/4 cup of milk, whole milk. A little salt and pepper to taste, so you can decide how much salt or pepper you wish to have. I'm going to mix this on up, and then I'll show you guys how we're going to put it in the oven. So I've just poured my mix right into my pan, and then what we're going to do is just add cheese along the top. Some people say they don't want parsley and all that with their macaroni, they just want it the way it used to be. So let's just go ahead and get this on. Because I don't care what people say, I'm going to add my parsley for presentation, get it covered, and put it right into that same oven. We're going to go ahead and get our barbecue sauce mixed up. This is just Food Line brand barbecue sauce. You can use whatever. Like I said, if I can save money on something, then I do. That's actually how I'm able to feed more people. I have these darn nails on, so let me open this up. Okay, so we're just going to add barbecue sauce to the bottom of our base. And As far as measurements go, I can't really give you an exact measurement with the barbecue sauce. I will give you measurements on the other items we're using. But with barbecue sauce, it depends on, like, some people like a thick sauce on their ribs, and some people like a little juice. Like my sister loves to have a little extra juice in the pan from the ribs, so that it's not just a sticky. But she likes that because she wants to put this barbecue sauce on top of her macaroni. Don't ask me why, but we're gonna just go around just a little bit with the mustard. Now with the garlic, and this is just mixed garlic. I do have real garlic with the cloves and things, but there's no need to go and do all of that. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic. We're going to go ahead and pull our baked beans out of the oven, just to get a look at those. We'll leave our macaroni in just a little longer. But remember, we're going to pull our beans out before they're all the way done, because we will take the lid or your foil off of your beans to let them try to get a little caramelization on top. These onions smell so good in there. You can smell it. So as you can see, they're still loose, which is why now we're going to take the lid off and put them inside so they can start to get thick. Sorry, that pan's probably making a lot of noise. So they're still loose, you see, right? But if you can see, we have gotten our green peppers, our onions, and they've gotten real good and sauteed, right? So now we're gonna do is put these back into the oven, and you can see we're starting to like get the little ring around, and that's the caramelization they're coming. Once we get these in the oven, now y'all, uncovered. Oh, you in for a whole new something, so stay tuned. We'll go ahead and check on our macaroni. Because what we want to do is see if it's ready for the lid to come off. Oh yeah. All right, guys. So our ribs have been in the oven for over an hour and 30 minutes. So we're going to take a look at them. Usually I cook my ribs for about 3 hours, like I told you guys. It varies, so sometimes it's just 2 hours, but as I told you guys before, I said put your ribs in there an hour and a half. We'll check and see how much longer we need to go. So here's our ribs. Notice that they are still flipped on the back where we can see the bone, right? And these are probably going to be pretty tender by now, so I have to strategically plot this. You know what I mean? But they're pretty tender already, so you see how that nice lips. Yeah. Usually. Okay, so what we do is we just flip them over. And as you can already tell, they were tender as far as when I tried to flip them. They were slipping back out. So just look here. See how that's just pulling out? Well, the angle probably not there, but it's just pulling right them out. So now what we're gonna do, let's get the rest of our sauce. And we're gonna coat these wings with the rest of our barbecue sauce, right? I'm going to set them in the oven uncovered. We'll come back, let's say in about 20 minutes, and then we'll get the caramelization. Alright, y'all, so I've just taken the beans out and the macaroni and cheese. I set them back in there to go under the broiler for a little while. So here is a plate I have. I put my slaw there. I'm just going to get at some of these beans. We like to divide the plates up by using these serving dish if the things have juice. The macaroni and cheese. You see that it has a firmness to it. That's how your macaroni should be. Please do not have the macaroni sliding all over the plate. But if you get in there, you can see that. We're going to pull out those ribs. You can see our ribs now. The last 5 minutes of cooking, we go and put it on the broiler. That's how I was telling you how you can get that sticky texture in the pan, so you don't have all that just barbecue sauce everywhere. See, you got the caramelization, the crystallization, I should be calling it. All right, we're going to go ahead and cut these up. Now I've got me a nice serving of ribs on there. You can tell they're nice and tender and not dry. That's my plate. Let me zoom in on these ribs down here though. Oh yes. That's how you want them, baby. Till next time.